The fact that the DOJ might well be appealing the special master thing isn't really a surprise. And we'll know soon, by the way. Apparently, the Trump appointed judge, Aileen Cannon, has asked for Trump's lawyers to respond to the request by Monday. So we'll know very soon. But even before we get to that, if you want to know what Trump thinks about their potential appeal, he's not a fan. He truthed about it, saying, so now the FBI and Biden Department of Justice leakers are going to spend millions of dollars with lots of capitalized letters and vast amounts of time and energy, also capitalized, to appeal the order on the raid of Mar-a-Lago document hoax. Why is that in quotation marks? I don't understand. By a brilliant and courageous judge whose words of wisdom rang true throughout our nation. Jeez, that dude woke up feeling poetic. He's talking there about Aileen Cannon, saying instead of fighting the record-setting corruption and crime taking place right before our eyes. And he goes through a whole bunch of ridiculous conspiracies and grievances and all that stuff. But he goes on to say, and I thought this was exciting because I had been wondering earlier this week where some of their prior explanations as to why he had these documents or why the DOJ found them. He brings up one of the oldies saying, they leak, lie, plant fake evidence, allow the spying on my campaign, something, Pfizer raid, blah, blah, blah. So once again, we're back to they plant documents. They said initially, before we had any of the details out of the raid, that they were going to plant documents. Then a whole bunch of leaks and affidavits and redacted blah, blah, blahs came out. We saw the pictures of the documents. He confirmed that he had them and that the only issue he had with the photo coming out was that they were on the floor. And now weeks later, hey, he's back to them being planted there. And I have no doubt that the right wing will gobble that argument up. It's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but I'm sure they're going to love it, Jessica.
The communication of Donald Trump is astounding. He fully understands the American public, which is really unfortunate for everybody else because so many people do not want to read about politics. They don't want to watch the news. They get home at the end of the day and they're very tired from working very hard to pay their bills. The last thing they want to do is look into what the DOJ investigation of Trump is, but he's very funny, he's entertaining, he's a leader, unfortunately, and they'll read these tweets and take his word for it and be like, yeah, what the government's up to is pretty crazy. People don't trust the government. They don't think it works for them. And most people are not aware of the fact that the government is bought and sold by corporations and run on behalf of corporations. And Donald Trump is complicit with that. But if he says, they're just after me because I wanted to drain the swamp, unfortunately, that's enough. And that connects with people. And it's scary that he is not president and he's still controlling the narrative in this way.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I take pretty much everything he says as fact. I mean, the dude was president. Come on, you got to respect him. But anyway, I do want people to be ready for the next couple of steps of this. So based on what Aileen Cannon said, they have until Monday to respond. And I'm gonna guess, and this is a bold guess, that they're not going to give the DOJ what they want. And so there will be an appeal. I don't know exactly what the timeline for that will be, or when we'll get the special master. They say Friday there's gonna be lists submitted. I love, by the way, that the two different sides are gonna be submitting the lists, which means the Trump side is gonna be submitting a list of people they think will be the special master for really fast. Any guesses as to who that, Rudy Giuliani could be on that list. Stephen Miller could be on that list. Jeanine Pirro could be on that list. She could be sloshing Shiraz all over the documents in just a couple of weeks.
Terrifying, terrifying. Also, special master is such a weird name. Why do they call it special master? I don't like it.
Make us uncomfortable. That's why.
And next week's list for garbage people will just be all of the potential special masters.
I like it already. It might be my garbage person today, and I don't even know who they are. But here is the next step. So assuming they do appeal, assuming they need to, which they will, and assuming that they will, which they say they will, then it goes to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and that's where it gets even more corrupt than with Aileen Cannon. So 6 of the 11 judges on that circuit court are Trump appointees. Only 3, I believe, would actually initially rule on the appeal. It is possible it could go through a certain legal process to all 11, but either way, it could end up being all 3 are Trump appointees. Now, former federal prosecutor in South Florida, David Weinstein, says that although 6 of the appeals court 11 active judges are Trump appointees, the 11th Circuit, quote, is a conservative set of judges that very often rules in favor of the government and have done so in the past. Oh, well, certainly the norms will save us then, the traditions. They won't flip flop to give Trump what he wants. Because if there's anything that's true of judges on the Court of Appeals level, they're not thinking about potentially getting put on the Supreme Court by Donald Trump if he gets to be president again, which they have a chance to potentially save his ability to run for president again, almost single-handedly. They definitely wouldn't be thinking about their careers going forward. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what's going on in our justice system? The justice system has never worked for the people in the United States. This is not brand new. It is a problem that the people who end up becoming judges at this level are people who grew up in very comfortable families. They're not very connected with the problems the majority of the American people go through every single day. And so when they're appointed, you're absolutely right. All they care about is their careers. That's what it's about for them. It's about the prestige. It's about upholding power. And that's really what they do when they get into these courts. It's also unfortunate that at every level we are encountering a Trump majority. There's supposed to be some degree of checks and balances, even if the court system is wholly biased and serving, the people who are elites in the United States. It's a problem that, at every single level of the court, it's not like we're going to encounter, okay, well, we'll go to the appeal court. And at least at the appeal court, we're not encountering a Trump appointed judge. No, he's ensured that there are Trump appointed judges at every single level. And that's the court system we have now. And that's his lasting legacy. And we've seen the effects of it after he's out of office with how the Supreme Court is ruling. Immediately our rights are stripped away and he's not even in office right now. And there were a lot of Cassandras that were like, this is a huge issue. He's appointing so many judges and justices. And now we're really seeing the effects of it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm very glad that you're focusing on that. I mean, I think we're understandably focused on the fact that they've taken over the Supreme Court. They have this conservative supermajority, but below that, like one of the powers of controlling the judiciary is that you don't even necessarily need to take things to the Supreme Court. If you can kill things that you want at the lower levels, then that's amazing. And they have packed so many of these courts. Think about how many people's lives are going to be affected by whatever it is the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals does. Like important cases having to, Florida's obviously a major state. And so that's super powerful.